Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Nemesis Gaming League, and what a better way to finish out the night than some Titan League action. There is no better way, actually, and there's no better way to finish it out with Ventus and I. I mean, we're the casting duo, uh, best casting duo of last season, so you guys are going to want to stick around here for this Titan League matchup.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't have asked for a better Titan League matchup tonight either, as we have a grand finals rematch between Inferno and Spartans. And I mean, maybe some bad blood between T-Man and Spartans having to watch his team lose in the grand finals, even though he wasn't playing. But I mean, Aciduk and Marv still on Spartans this season as they were last season, but this time they're not with Kratozz. We're gonna have to see how this dynamic duo fares without Kratozz and with a bit lower of a third player if there's some holes in their rotations or not. But I mean, either way, it's going to be a great match.
Yeah, it should be a great match on both sides. As you know, I'm excited for how this one's gonna go. As Spartans, they're gonna trade out KX for Marco here. Marco, the sub up, he played on stream on Monday, and a little bit of a disaster class going on there. Not from him, but just his team got swept. So, you know, this is redemption for him. And we have Aciduk and Marv banging it out. They won the championship together with Kratozz last season, but Kratozz, Marv, and Aciduk just shot up in MMR, so they couldn't play together again as team. Okay, well, T-Man just absolutely demolishes two of them. What a play from him.
Yeah, it looks like a missed touch from Marv. Blazz going for bumps, and Aciduk maybe playing the dunk or the block on Tox. Neither of those two finding the touch, and T-Man's going to walk in a free net to open up game number one. A good start for Inferno, and they are going to need it. They're a team that has a lot of cap, didn't have a lot of high picks in the draft this season, so they're kind of rocking with whatever they could muster up. T-Man luckily snagging Tox pretty late, or I think it was early in the second round, so hopefully Tox will be able to be that star player that he needs. But yeah, without a high draft pick, it might be a little rough for this team.
Yeah, I mean, but the draft doesn't mean everything. I mean, as I've harped on multiple times, I think it's the mid-season trades and some other factors like picking up a nice FA that really matter the most. So, I mean, I think that Inferno is a really strong team. I like T-Man being brought into Inferno. He actually, he's a GM obviously, but he actually won a playoff game with Inferno last season despite being the sub, and he dominated against Dragons, and that's Bluey and Vulcan. So if you can do that, I mean, you can pretty much start anywhere, as Marv is going to take a nice touch. It's off the backboard. Blazz. Oh my goodness! Aciduk just scored. How did that happen?
Yeah, honestly, it's a very weird situation. Marv getting a couple extra touches and gets a bump on Blaz. Maybe gets the extra touch as well to put it right on Aciduk's car. And that one just kind of an awkward situation. Works out well in favor of the Spartans. I'm sure they're going to be happy, even though maybe not fully intended as that was the play that happened. But, you know, you even up the scoring, you kill the momentum of Inferno, and you continue to go on from there. As we're going to see Marvin Aciduk as this 1-2 duo very frequently throughout the series.
Yeah, I mean, that is a duo of the ages, as Marv is going to try to take a touch. He's going to get 50'd out here. Marco, I feel like we haven't harped on him a bunch, and as I say it, he just misses, and T-Man is going to punish him for it. That is an unfortunate miss for Marco.
Yeah, there's not much I can say about that one, Marco. I mean, it's a pretty much a free touch in the own half. Nobody really there to put pressure on him either. But I think it's just the nerves having to sub up into Titan for the first time. And he's just trying to do the best he can. Unfortunately, that one's going to get the best of him, as like not going to be able to react in time
Oh
to that touch. And
my.
it looks like that shot from Tox going to go post in just behind Marv, and Inferno kind of racking up the score a little bit now.
What a passing play coming out from them. I mean, that is an insane play. You have Blaz sending it to T-Man on the sidewall, and then Tox finishing it off. Not the prettiest shot in the world, but it works because it's well placed and it's a bounce shot. Those bounce shots are deadly, let me tell you. All right, you know, it's like a changeup in baseball. As we see a little bit of a double commit coming out here as Marv gets the boost, but he's gonna have to defend against Blaz. Blaz gets a 50. Marv sends it over. Tox with a nice touch. Can he get another? He can't. Marco sends it down. This is bad as both players, Marv and Aciduk, are low on boost, and Tox is going to put it in the back of the net. The three-peat champion Tox is absolutely dominating so far.
Yeah, it looked like Marco really was needed to get a pass to Aciduk. Aciduk was playing very high third man for that pass, and it wasn't good enough. And counterattack comes in, Tox gonna be able to slot that one home, extend the lead even more. Is this one also gonna find the back of the net off of another missed touch by Marco, giving a free ball in the midfield? And man, you gotta feel for this kid's son because he's already nervous. He's summoning up in Titan, and I feel like he's been the sole contributor to Inferno's 3 goals so far.
Yeah, I know Marco personally, and I know that he has only had one playoff win in all the leagues he's been in, and he really wants to get a playoff win in Nemesis. He said that's his goal, but in order to do so, he's going to have to play well on stream, and so far it's not looking that way, despite being in Titan. Oh my goodness. Tox, that was absolutely disgusting. They might just get a Brazil here.
Yeah, I mean, perfect reset touch, is able to just maintain full control of the ball, puts it right around Marco, puts it right below Aciduk on the back wall, and I mean, it's perfect shot for Tox, and I mean, Tox and T-Man really finding their stride so far in game 1. Each, I thought T-Man had 3 goals, turns out he only has 2, oh well, but he also has 3 assists as well, so Tox having 3 goals to his name, T-Man having 2 and 3 assists. I mean, Inferno's doing really well on the offensive side of the ball, but I feel like it's also been the Spartans' mistakes on defense that has allowed a bunch of free opportunities to the Inferno roster, but at the same time, there have not been many shots on the Inferno net, as these is just going to be wide. Aciduk needed to get that shot on, and Marco had a couple good bumps in the Inferno half, and it looks like this one going to be dropped down from Tox. T-Man kind of pushed up a little bit too far, expecting that pass to come through, but I mean, Inferno are out shooting Spartans. I believe it's 11-4, so I mean, insane pressure going on from Inferno.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like they're kind of playing with their food at this point. They don't need to score pretty much at all. They can just park the bus and wait off the clock, and I think that's what they're going to do here. As Tox, I mean, he's just flying around everywhere. The fact that that Inferno got to pick him up so late is just beyond me, to be completely honest. As Marv sends it down, Tox and T-Man both collectively go for that. You know, you love to see it there as Tox is on the backboard. T-Man sends it over. Marv is right there. And Marv going to breathe at least a little bit of life, a little bit of momentum into the next game.
Yeah, a couple consecutive shots. Aciduk, a good shot, just forcing a bad touch to come out of T-Man, and Marv just there in the midfield waiting for that clearance and puts that one in the back of the net. I'm not sure if it's going to be much of a help for this game, but maybe helpful in the long run, as they needed to get some sort of momentum as Aciduk tries to get another shot on. It's just going to go just above the crossbar. Marco wasn't able to get the shot either. And I mean, I feel like the Spartans roster, they stepped it up a notch. I feel like they've been on offense for the last minute now, as they're going to find another goal. 20 seconds left. It's not impossible for a 3-goal comeback from now, but just the way Inferno played at the beginning, it seems very unlikely.
As Marco going to alleviate some of that pressure he's feeling by getting a nice goal there, and now it's only a 3-goal lead for Inferno, but I don't think it's really reasonable to expect them to expect the Spartans, rather, to come back into this one, as Marco makes a great touch, but Blazz is going to get it over one. Tox, I mean, he's just wave dashing and just flying everywhere. Not a whole lot the Spartans team can do. Aciduk, he tries to get a touch, but Blazz going to get it for him. Marv off the corner. Marv going to try to get another touch, but he's going to let it drop to the floor. And Inferno picking up a big Game 1 victory. And T-Man's revenge tour has just begun.
Yeah, and I mean, Inferno looked really strong throughout this game, but I feel like Spartans kind of took the reins back a little bit. They started to look a little more comfortable on offense. They closed down the shot total pretty closely, as they're able to catch up 10 shots to 11 of Inferno's. And I mean, Marco didn't look very good at the first half of Game 1, but it seems like he kind of found a little bit of his stride there towards the end. He was able to play a bit faster, maybe a little more carefree, wasn't too worried about, being a burden to his team, and I think that kind of helped Spartans get some more offensive pressure and was the reason behind a couple of the goals. Marco was able to cut on offense, alleviate some pressure in the midfield, and overall made a couple good plays. So hopefully he's going to be able to build on that, as he almost got a shot there and made my words come to life. But unfortunately, that one not going to be on target.
Yeah, unfortunate for them, as Inferno getting already some very, very stout pressure here as Marco sends it down, gets another touch. It's off the ceiling there as the ball is in Inferno's end. Talks with a great touch. He gets a dunk out on another. He is just flying here as he's off the backboard trying to find the double. He's successful, but he can't get that one as Blazz gets the dunk, but not enough as Marv. A great squishy save coming out from him. Talks gonna get a touch. Gonna take it up the wall. Marv just barely missing that one. Talks gonna get it past Marco as well. He's just gonna keep going. Oh my goodness, no way, he just took it past the whole team. He almost did as Blazz trying to get the demo there. He can't as Marco. Great control from him, but it's not gonna end up being a goal there as Talks sends it down. Aciduk retreating very quickly as Marv. He's gonna take it up. Does not get the best of touches, but he does have a little bit of boost. Aciduk sends it over to Marco. Talks. He pops it high. Can Talks get another one? He does. Marv pops it up. Blazz now gets it over. And now Marv gonna 50 out T-Man. Marco sends it down. And, you know, just over, or just under actually, 3 minutes and 30 seconds in this game. And both teams, they're throwing punches, but none of these punches has landed so far, Ventus.
Yeah, and I think that Spartans have really cleaned up their game a lot. They've been a lot better in the midfield. They haven't made many mistakes, especially these mistakes where they're throwing possession away directly to the other team. And they're really making Inferno work for all their touches. We saw one potential goal coming out from Talks early where he was able to beat all three defenders, but he wasn't able to get it on because he was so low on his boost. And so this might be a goal opportunity. Aciduk almost getting a shot past T-Man, but a great save coming out. Marco having to take control as that third man. Good play by him, just keeping possession in the midfield, forcing the Inferno to stay in their half. And, I mean, it's just a tale of the midfield game. As soon as a team is able to break through with possession in the midfield, they're going to have a very good chance on scoring on goal.
Yeah, that's pretty much, that sums it up perfectly. I can always rely on you for very high-level analytical thinking. I mean, good job, Ventus. But, you know, it is because you're in Titan, and all these players, they are just so insane. It's kind of hard for my feeble brain to keep up a little bit as Aciduk, speaking of, gets a nice touch. But Marco just going to wait on that. Blazz gets a touch. Marv sends it off the backboard. T-Man gets a nice 50. Talks is flying in, but what a touch by Marco. Now Aciduk with a tank full of boost. Tries to get it past one. He does. Aciduk can't find anything else as Marco steals the boost and gets a great touch. Now it's up to Talks here. He doesn't have a whole lot of boost. He's trying to go for a musty, literally anything to get this ball into the back of the net. So far as Inferno hasn't found anything substantial. Marv, a great first touch, but can't continue on his air dribble as Blazz gets one. Gonna flip reset there. Marv now sends it down. T-Man with a singular touch there, trying to get a flip reset, but he's not gonna go for it as Aciduk is backing up here. Marv is going to try to get past him, but Aciduk sends it over to T-Man, who's just going to pop it high. And Blazz, he has an opportunity. He almost dunks out Marco, but he can't find it. Talks now with one. Tries to get it past two defenders, but he's not going to be able to. Marco with a great touch down the field. It's in the corner now. Marco sends it over. Aciduk unable to reach it just yet, but he is eventually able to reach it. Talks sends it down. Marv unable to pick it up as Marco gets it over. Marv sends it over to Aciduk, and Aciduk takes it down over to Talks. Talks, he has an opportunity here, as he always does, as Blazz gonna now have the opportunity. It's 50s out to him. T-Man can't get the touch. Marv, a great shot. Talks, he just has enough boost to get to that, and that was an opportunity I think they needed to put away, Ventus.
Yeah, I mean, a great play from Talks there. Not only did he get the save and caught it on the back wall, he was also able to get the fake, keeping possession for his team, allowing them to rotate back and get some boost, get some resources, and allowed them to regain position on the field, keeping it in the Spartans' half. After that clear from Talks, it seems like Inferno has had all of the pressure, even though they haven't had that many shots. This ball could be dangerous, as this one is a shot on target, and that is going to find the back of the net. Blazz, a great shot. It looked like there was a demo in there as well coming out from the side of Inferno, and that one might be the dagger. There's only 12 seconds left. They're going to have to come out swinging from the Spartans side if they want to tie this game up, and you do not want to go down 2-0 in the series.
Yeah, I believe that was Blazz actually who got the demo. So he demoed him and then just got up there and said, I'm just going to put it in the back of the net there. It's 3 seconds remaining. The Spartans, they're struggling to get this one up, and Inferno, they're going to put it to the ground. 2-0 in this series so far. Inferno getting their get back for Ember, who just played against the War Room prospect team. So I think both orgs are trading blows right now. Spartans, the big question for me is, are they going to respond here? Because they haven't really done much of anything offensively, right? You haven't seen a whole lot of threatening chances. You've seen a couple of decent passes. I mean, they did outshoot Inferno, but these aren't chances that are really going to net you a lot of goals here. Inferno are just playing better all throughout the field. They're controlling the midfield, and I think that's the difference in this game.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I feel like anytime Spartans try to get into the Inferno half, they always have to deal with Tox. No matter where they are on the field, he is always there. He's able to not only snatch away possession from the Spartans, he's able to keep the possession, turn it into an air dribble and a counter attack, and are really making Spartans work so hard to even have a chance to score. And I heard from T-Man yesterday that he was actually shopping Tox around and seeing what he was worth on the open trade market. And I mean, T-Man might have to rethink that decision if Tox continues to play the way he is, because he has stepped up so much for this Inferno roster.
I mean, you can't even hate on it though, because he got drafted so late. You can flip him for easily like 2 firsts or something like that after this game. But I don't think he wants to do that, as you mentioned, as Tox is just such a great difference maker. And you have Blazz, who I feel like a lot of his play is going unnoticed. Obviously, he got that goal last game, but he's just, I haven't seen him make a mistake yet. I really have not seen this guy make a mistake. And I think that is the most important part of being a good player, is your lack of mistakes. You have to not necessarily be perfect, but you can't give up big chances to the opposing team. As T-Man gonna get a nice touch. Marco tries to send it down, but Blazz is gonna get it away. Aciduk back to Marv. Marv gets one, tries to get another as Marco fakes it out for Aciduk. Aciduk with one. It's gonna bounce awkwardly, but T-Man gonna get there. He's gonna try to double it, but Marv there once more. Nice double attempt coming out from him, but he can't get there. Marco trying to pass it out, but Aciduk wisely stays back as Marv gonna turn, gets it popped up high. Now Marco, he's gonna have an opportunity here. Can he double this? He can't get to that, but he bumps him. Aciduk can't make the shot. Marv can't either. I mean, this Spartans team, they can't put anything in the back of the net. It's so tragic to see.
And that's one of those situations where you need to score. You had your low Sal and Marco make a great play. He was able to get a beat, almost a potential double tap, but also got the bump on the backboard, leaving a perfectly open shot for Aciduk, and Aciduk just couldn't find the back of the net there. And I mean, they definitely want that one back, as you want to give some confidence to Marco, who hasn't really had much throughout this series. He's been very timid. He hasn't been very willing to challenge, and he doesn't look like himself where he was in the rival league, especially last season. And I feel like you just got to give the kid some confidence. You got to make sure, like, that was a good pass. Like, I was able to capitalize, and because they weren't able to do that, I think it really stunts their futures. It looks like Marv might have just left. I don't know whether that was intentional or a disconnect of some sort, but it looked like he might have gotten kicked. I'm not sure. That's what Aciduk said. An interesting situation. Looks like we're gonna go on tech pause for a second. I have, that sucks for if the goal is upheld for Inferno and Spartans have to go down 1-0 after this. I think the mental is absolutely chalked for them. I think that they fell prey to the Rocket League gods, and the disconnect is gonna get their mental all sorts of out of whack. And I think, unfortunately, the goal is probably going to stand. I'm not sure if there's anything that they can do about that. I guess this is more of a Rockerman decision than anything, but yeah, it's a real mental. It's a real blow to the mental for the Spartans.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that this goal should stand, because Marv, even though he was in close proximity to the ball, he had no boost. He wasn't in a position to really make a good enough play on the ball for that play not to happen. And you also have Aciduk in the corner with him. So it was all up to a rival sub up to try to save a shot from both Blazz and T-Man. So I'm not sure if this one's gonna go um, Spartan's way here. I think there's some
We're going to
replay
VAR.
reviewing. Yeah, we're going to VAR. I don't know if we have a big enough budget to show you guys the instant replay, but
How cool
I
would
think,
that be?
dude, that would be so awesome, and especially for moments like these, exactly because I my memory might be spotty here, but this really does have a massive impact on the game, whether or not this goal is scored, because you're up 2-0 in the series. This goal puts you up 1-0, up by one in game three. You're already chalked mentally. You can't have this goal go in early. And personally, I don't think I don't think the goal should be taken off the board, but again, I'm not a referee. I don't know if you are Ventus and you're just secretly not telling me, but VAR would be awesome right about now.
I have refed a couple baseball and soccer games, so I might be a referee. It looks like the official ruling is that the goal is going to stand. He wasn't reasonably going to be able to affect the play. That's what the ruling is. Whether or not that ruling is correct, it's up to Rockerman. Marv is not happy about that ruling, but it's what the VAR says. The foot crossed the line. He was offsides, and it looks like that is going to be a goal. T-Man is going to be able to get that open net. We're going to go back to the kickoff, and I mean Spartans, they gotta do something. They're in not the best mental space right now, but if they can get a lead back, if they can stop the momentum of Inferno, they can start to make a comeback and take it one game at a time, 1 minute at a time, one goal at a time.
Yeah, I understand it's frustrating for Marv, but I do agree with the ruling there. I think that it should have stood, but I think the Spartans have a good chance. It seems like they have a fire lit under them, and you would think Inferno does, but Spartans unironically do right now. They're playing really fast and they're trying to get some opportunities going here, and that's exactly what needs to happen. But Marco, crucial miss. T-Man's gonna fake it out now. Marco sends it down. He's stealing the boost. Tox back over to the Spartans' end. Tox, he fakes it out. Blazz gonna try to get a touch and a shot, and I mean, I'm not even surprised at this point. Blazz has just been perfect this series.
Yeah, I mean, he's just been super solid. I mean, when you make no mistakes, especially on the defensive side of the ball, I feel like he's been really good on defense and in his own half, especially in the midfield. I feel like that's where a lot of his value has come from. He's always kind of put a hand up in the face of a Spartans attacker, and he finally gets a goal here, putting the Inferno roster up 2-0 in game number 3, looking poised to complete the sweep. And Aciduk really had no boost. It seemed like a lot of the Spartans have just been hard boost starved so far in this series, and it's caused them to slow down the rotations a lot. They haven't been able to catch up, and I wonder what the reason behind it, whether Inferno has been able to boost starve, whether Marco has been kind of relying on the large boost pads to keep his speed and momentum up with the pace of Titan League, or if it has just been an ineffective use of pads, maybe a couple double commits here and there. But whatever the case may be, it's been detrimental to the Spartans. They haven't been able to really break out of their half. We see them time and time again with zero boost, and Tox almost getting a shot. It looks like that one was saved by T-Man, but Blazz is going to potentially put the dagger in the backs of the Spartans. And I don't want to say that's the series, but Spartans have not really been able to generate any offense, and I don't think they're going to be able to overcome three goals in just under a minute.
Yeah, it's hard enough having a sub from a lower league, but it's harder especially when you have a team that just looks so coordinated and they just look so ready to deal with everything that comes their way. So I'm surprised that they're 0-1 personally. I think they are a great team. So hopefully if they win this, which it's looking like they most likely are, they use this for momentum going down the season. As Marv gonna take a touch over to Aciduk. It's not gonna go. His T-Man gonna get a nice block there. Little under 30 seconds. Marco trying to find a shot. He's unsuccessful. Tox gonna send it into the corner. Aciduk over to Marv, and there we go. There's some life. Breathe into the Spartans here, but Is it going to be enough? I don't think so.
Yeah, not to rain on the Spartans parade for being able to get a goal, but I mean they're having to throw themselves at this ball just constantly. It turns out it lucks out for them right there, but Aciduk and Marv were basically in the same spot with completely zero boost. Luckily they get the 50 in their favor and are able to put it in the back of the net. Marv almost got that goal, but talks an incredible save, just wasting precious seconds off the clock, and with the clock ticking down, just 5 seconds remaining, this is going to be it for the Spartans. Marv does leave, probably upset about that ruling, but what can you do? It was probably the right call. I mean, they watched it back, and the VAR said that his foot was over the line, he was offside, so you gotta just deal with the ruling.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those unfortunate situations. And I think that wasn't the reason they lost this game or the series. I think that definitely didn't help for sure. But I think Inferno just outplayed them the entire time. So unfortunate, but I mean, you can do what you can do pretty much here. As you know, in Spartans or sorry, in Spartans, in Inferno, they take the series and now they're 1-on-1, and the Spartans are now gonna go down to 1-on-1. So both teams having the same record as we're going forward here in Ventus. That was a fun one to cast.
Yeah, I mean it really shined a new light on this Inferno roster. I know T-Man wasn't very high in his hopes for this team. He is already looking to trade away a couple pieces. Maybe this kind of reinforces his decision and his confidence in who he drafted as the GM and as a Titan player, who he filled his team around. He stepped up big time as well in this series. He was a main contributor into their offense. And I mean, you never know what can happen in the Titan League. It's all so competitive, and it's all who's on their game that day. I know that Spartans are a good team. Aciduk and Marv are very good players, and they won Titan last season, for crying out loud. They have the ability to be a top contender in Titan once again, but I just think that Inferno had their number today. Talks looked fantastic. Blazz looked fantastic. T-Man looked fantastic, and there's only so much when you can do when a team is just playing so well together.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really do anything about that, but overall, I think it was a great series to end off the night. Uh, First it was the War Room sweeping Firestorm, and then Firestorm sweeping the War Room. So, I think both GMs are a little happy right now. But thank you to our Nemesis premium subscribers. Let me list them off real quick. Novice, we have Ruby, Sub Zero, and Yerks. Challenger, we have Crotera, Dissa, Flame Intruder, and Wiggle. And in Titan, we have Fenrir, Jax, Parker, and Speed. So thank you guys again for being our premium subscribers. We really appreciate you guys. And I appreciate you guys for sticking around watching us throughout this entire process. So we really appreciate it. Thank you, Ventus, for casting with me. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you, thank you. I mean, when you got the caster duo of Gallium and Ventus, the caster duo season 12 award winners. I mean, you're in for a treat. That's all I can say. But that's gonna be it for us in the booth tonight. We will be back with some more amazing games Monday for week 2 of season 13. It's no longer opening week, but we got so many good matches coming up and so many matches left in this season. We're just getting started. So without further ado, I mean, we can call it a night, huh, Gallium?
Yep, I think that sounds about right. Well, without a further ado, I bid you adieu. Bye, guys.